had to realize that I was worth loving, loving, loving. I had to realize that I was worth loving, loving, loving.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Worth Loving Podcast. I am your host, Kiana W. Mitchell. So this week, guys, we are going to do another revisited episode. I was going through the catalog, and I see there are so many good episodes I can talk about that we can use to talk about dating, and some of the things that we talked about have been very important. But here's the thing that I think really, really matters, and a lot of people totally forget it, that what you think actually matters. The things you tell yourself about dating, especially if you're getting back into the dating scene, can have an impact on the type of partner you get or the type of partner you choose. So in this week's episode, we are going to talk about how what you think matters and how the affirmations and the things we tell ourselves can actually help us to choose the partner that we are looking for, need, and want. So we're going to listen to the episode this week called What You Think Matters. And we're talking about affirmations and how what we think affects how we date. Now, I promise you next week we are absolutely going to have a new episode, and I can't wait for you to hear it. But I felt like this was really important for us to talk about before we get to next week's episode of the podcast. I also want to remind you that we do have the question and answer session, and I will have that on tomorrow as well. So before we get to this episode, we are going to hear an ad from one of our sponsors. Before we dive back into today's conversation, I want to take a minute to personally invite you into something very special, into my You Are Worth Loving signature coaching program. This is my 12-week trauma-informed coaching experience designed to help you break unhealthy patterns, reveal your self-worth, and create emotionally safe relationships that actually feel good for your soul. If you've been listening to the Worth Loving podcast and thinking, I'm ready for deeper support, this is your next step. Inside the program, we work together one-on-one to help you reconnect with your voice, your boundaries, and your confidence so you can stop settling for relationships that drain you and start choosing ones that honor you. I'm only taking 3 clients for the month of May because I honestly want to give each person the time, energy, and care they deserve. So, if you've been waiting for a sign to start your healing journey, this is it. Click the Stan Store link in the show notes to apply or learn more. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are worthy of love, and you are worthy of relationships that feel safe, healthy, and whole. Now, let's get back to today's episode. So why do affirmations matter? Affirmations matter because the way you talk to yourself shapes the way you show up in your relationships. Your internal dialogue influences your confidence, your boundaries, your expectations, and even the partners you choose. If you spent years, even decades, hearing or believing negative messages about yourself, these messages become the lens through which you interpret your experience. From a scientific perspective, affirmations work because of something called neuroplasticity. That is the brain's ability to form new neural pathways. So when you repeat a thought often enough, your brain begins to treat it as truth. This is the same mechanism that allows negative self-talk to become deeply ingrained. But it also means you can intentionally create new, healthier patterns. Affirmations help interrupt old narratives like, I'm not enough, I have to earn love, I always get it wrong, no one will ever love me, no one will ever choose me. When you speak new truths, even if they feel unfamiliar at first, you begin to challenge these old pathways. Over time, your brain starts to adapt the new belief system as your default. This doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen through wishful thinking. It happens through repetition, consistency, and emotional connection to the words you're speaking. Affirmations also help regulate your nervous system. When you're anxious, triggered, or overwhelmed, your brain goes into survival mode. Affirmations can act as grounding statements that bring you back to your emotional safety. They remind your body and mind that you are not in danger and that you are capable and that you are worthy of love and respect. This is why affirmations are so powerful, and that can help you rewrite the internal script that has shaped your relationships. Before we go deeper, it's important to clarify what affirmations are not, because there are a lot of misconceptions out there, and I want you to approach this practice with clarity and intention. Affirmations are not magical spells. They don't instantly change the circumstances or make someone treat you better. They don't override your emotions or erase your trauma. And they're not meant to be used in a way to avoid doing the deeper healing work. Affirmations are also not about pretending everything is okay when it's not. They're not about forcing positivity or ignoring your pain. In fact, affirmations work best when they're paired with honesty. Honesty about what you're feeling, what you've been through, and what you're still healing from. They're not meant to replace therapy, coaching, or self-reflection. They're not meant to silence your intuition or convince you to stay in situations that are harmful. And they're not meant to shame you for having moments of doubt, fear, or insecurity. Affirmations are not a shortcut. They're not a quick fix. And they're not a way to bypass the emotional work required to build healthy relationships. What they are is a tool, a powerful one that supports your healing, strengthens your self-worth, and help you create a new pattern. But they work best when they're used with intention, compassion, and consistency. So, now that we've cleared up what they're not, let's talk about what affirmations actually are and how they can transform your relationship with yourself. Affirmations are intentional statements that help you challenge old beliefs and reinforce new ones, healthier ones. They're a way of speaking truth to yourself, especially when your emotions, your past experience, or your inner critic try to convince you otherwise. At their core, affirmations are about interrupting the narrative and reminding yourself of what you're able to do. Many of us grew up hearing messages that shaped how we see ourselves. Messages like, you're too much, you're not enough, you're difficult, you're unloved, you're lucky anyone wants you. Even if no one said these words out loud, you may have internalized them through the way you were treated. Affirmation helps you rewrite these messages with compassion and clarity. Affirmations are also a way to practice self-compassion. When you speak to yourself with kindness, you begin to build emotional safety within yourself. You stop abandoning yourself. You stop criticizing yourself for having needs. You stop shrinking to make others feel comfortable. Affirmations help you reinforce new boundaries. When you say, my needs matter, you're reminding yourself that you don't have to settle for relationships that drain you. When you say, I trust my intuition, you're strengthening your ability to walk away from red flags. When you say, I deserve a love that feels safe, you're settling and you're setting a new standard for relationships you allow into your life. You're not settling for things that are not fitting to what you deserve or in your life. Affirmations are not about perfection. They're about practice. They're about choosing day after day to speak to yourself in a way that aligns with the person you're becoming, not the person your past has tried to convince you that you are. So how do affirmations strengthen the relationship you have with yourself? Well, that's easy. Your relationship with yourself is the foundation of every other relationship in your life. When that relationship or when that foundation is shaky, everything else feels unstable. Affirmations help you rebuild that foundation with intention and compassion. One of the most powerful ways that affirmation can strengthen your relationship with yourself is by helping you to rebuild self-trust. If you have been in emotionally unsafe relationships, you may have learned to doubt your intuition, minimize your needs, or silence your voice. Affirmations like, I trust myself, or my feelings are valid, help you reconnect with your inner wisdom. Affirmations also help you heal from past emotional wounds. When you've been criticized, dismissed, or made to feel unworthy, these messages can linger long after that relationship ends. Affirmation help you challenge those internal beliefs and replace them with truth. They can help you release shame, guilt, and self-blame, emotions that often keep you stuck in unhealthy patterns. Another way affirmations strengthen your relationship with yourself is by creating emotional safety. When you speak to yourself with kindness, you become a safe place for your own emotions. You stop judging yourself for feeling sad, anxious, or insecure. You stop expecting perfection. You start giving yourself grace. Affirmations also help you set and maintain boundaries. When you affirm your worth, You stop tolerating behavior that violates your peace. You stop chasing people who are inconsistent. And you stop settling for relationships that require you to abandon yourself. So ultimately, affirmations help you show up for yourself in a way that is nurturing, grounded, and aligned with your healing. And when your relationship with yourself becomes healthier, every other relationship in your life begins to shift. Affirmations don't just change the way you talk to yourself, they change the way you show up in your relationships. When you begin to affirm your worth, your needs, and your boundaries, you naturally begin to choose healthier dynamics. One of the biggest ways affirmation strengthens your relationship is by helping you show up with clarity. When you believe you are worthy of consistency, respect, and emotional safety, you stop accepting relationships that offer anything less. You stop making excuses for red flags. Like, you really stop trying to fix people who are not ready to grow. Affirmations also help you communicate more confidently. When you affirm statements like, "My needs matter," or "I deserve to be heard," you begin to speak up for yourself without fear of rejection. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing for having boundaries. You stop settling for one-sided relationships. Another powerful shift is that affirmations help you choose partners who are emotionally healthy. Yes, when you believe you deserve love that feels steady and safe, you stop being drawn to chaos, inconsistency, or emotional unavailability. You begin to recognize green flags, things like accountability, emotional maturity, and healthy communication. Affirmations help you break old patterns. So if you've seen people who are people pleasers, or if you have been a people pleaser, or maybe an overgiver, or someone who ignores their own needs, affirmations can help you create new relational habits. They help you pause before reacting. They help you check in with yourself. They help you to choose relationships that align with your healing, not your wounds. So in short, affirmations help you show up in relationships with more confidence, more clarity, and more emotional grounding. And that changes everything. Affirmations are more powerful when they're woven into your daily life in simple, consistent ways. So you don't need to stand in front of a mirror for 20 minutes to repeat the same phrase 100 times. What matters is intention and repetition. One of the best times to use affirmation is in the morning, before the day begins. This helps set the tone for how you want to show up. A simple affirmation like, "I am worthy of love and respect," can help you start the day grounded and centered. Another powerful moment is before dates or important conversations. If you tend to get anxious or overthink, affirmations like, "I can be myself," or "I honor my boundaries," can help you stay grounded and confident. I know for a fact that affirmations do work. I like to sing, and there were times when I was doing voice lessons, and they would have these high notes that I did not think I could reach. And so I recognized early on that when I thought, "Kiana, oh my goodness, you're not going to reach that," I did not reach the note. But when I said things like, "Oh, you've got this, girl. You can do this, Kiana. You sung higher before. You can definitely hit that note." Or when I said things like, "You can do it," I was able to hit the note perfectly. So it's all about what we tell ourselves. And this is why it is very, very important that we make sure that we are telling ourselves and reminding ourselves of true, healthy thoughts instead of constantly bombarding ourselves with unhealthy, negative thoughts. Affirmations become even more powerful when you use the right ones at the right moments. Different situations call for different kinds of grounding, reassurance, and emotional support. So I want to give you a set of affirmations you can use in specific moments throughout your healing and relational journey. When you're feeling insecure or doubting yourself, you can use affirmations like, "I am enough as I am. My feelings are valid. I am learning, growing, and becoming stronger every day. I don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love." Before a date or important conversations, you can tell yourself, "I can be myself and that is enough. I honor my boundaries and speak my truth with confidence. I choose connection that feels safe and steady. I trust myself to show up authentically." When you feel triggered or overwhelmed, you can say, "I am safe in this moment. I can pause and breathe before responding. My emotions are information, not danger. I can comfort myself with compassion." When you're healing from heartbreak or disappointment, affirmations like, "I release what was not meant for me. I deserve a love that chooses me consistently. This pain is not the end of my story. I am worthy of a love that feels gentle and true. When you're practicing self-worth, affirmations like, my needs matter. I am allowed to take up space. I choose relationships that honor who I am. I am worthy of love, respect, and emotional safety. Use these affirmations as often as you need them. Let them become part of your emotional toolkit, something you can reach for whenever you need grounding, clarity, or reassurance. The song that we're going to listen to today is called I Did It For Me, and it is by our podcast artist, Everine Rose. And this song is about a woman who is finally realizing her worth and using affirmations to help her on her healing journey. Here is the song, I Did It For Me.
There was a time when I felt broken. I felt like I needed a man in my life. I thought if he said the right things, then that meant that he was the one for me. But one thing I've learned through the years is that you get what you feel you deserve. And so I settled for relationships that left me feeling unloved and walking on eggshells. I had to walk away from people who hurt me. I had to distance myself emotionally. I had to walk away from people who hurt me. I had to distance myself emotionally. I had to do this for me. I had to do this for me. Men will say one thing, then do something else. It takes some time to know who you can trust. Every I love you is not always true, so you have to do what's best for you. One thing I've learned through the years is that you get what you feel you deserve. And so I settled for relationships that left me feeling unloved and walking on eggshells. I had to walk away from people who hurt me. I had to distance myself emotionally. I had to walk away from people who hurt me. I had to distance myself emotionally. I had to do this for me. I had to do this for me. Every relationship is not good for you. Just because you love them doesn't make them the one. You need to know what you want in a relationship, so you will know behaviors you will not accept. I had to walk away from people who hurt me. I had to distance myself emotionally. I had to walk away from people who hurt me. I had to distance myself emotionally. I had to do this for me. I had to do this for me. I had to walk away from people who hurt me. I had to distance myself emotionally. I had to walk away from people who hurt me. I had to distance myself emotionally. I had to do this for me. I had to do this for me.
As we wrap up today's episode, I want you to remember this. Affirmations are not about pretending everything is okay. They're not about forcing positivity or ignoring your pain. They're about choosing to speak to yourself with the same compassion, patience, and gentleness that you offer to others. Your healing is not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before life, trauma, or relationships taught you to doubt your worth. Affirmations help you reconnect with that version of yourself. They help you interpret and interrupt the old narratives that no longer serve you and replace them with truth, clarity, and emotional grounding. When you practice affirmations consistently, you begin to show up differently. You begin to trust yourself more. You begin to set boundaries with confidence. You begin to choose relationships that feel safe, steady, and align with your values. And most importantly, you begin to build a relationship with yourself that is rooted in love instead of criticism. So, as you move through this week, I want to invite you to choose one affirmation from today's episode, just one, and practice it daily. Say it in the morning, say it before a conversation, say it when you feel anxious or unsure, say it when you need to remind yourself of who you are and what you deserve. Your words matter, your healing matter, and you are worth loving, deeply, fully, and without condition. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. And don't forget that tomorrow we do have a question and answer session. So be on the lookout for another episode tomorrow. You are worthy, you are growing, and I am cheering you on every step of the way. I am Kiana W. Mitchell, and this is the Worth Loving Podcast.
I had to realize that I was worth loving, loving, loving. I had to realize